Welcome to Fishing Chums Fishing Report. We're out here at the fishing shack, and I'm excited. I'm getting ready to go to Stockton to go fishing and catch some of those walleye out there. But we have a good show for you. I want to thank you very much for joining us. I want to start the program off by thanking everybody. We had thousands of viewers last week again. God bless you. And how you doing with this virus thing, huh? How you doing? They've lifted some of the things, we can start going out a little bit, and I haven't had a haircut in about 2.5 months. I think I'll get a haircut this week, if the fish aren't biting too good. All right, we have a good show for you, good report. Still catching nice crappie out at Truman Lake. They've been picking up some nice fish at Stockton. My gosh, the crappie has still been going good somewhat. The lake's high, but it looks pretty good. And the walleye have really been biting good out at Stockton. We've got a report coming up for you. Some nice bass being caught at Bull Shoals out at Table Rock. Boy, the bass are in and out of the spawning areas with this cooler weather, but there's still some nice bass being caught at Table Rock and a few nice crappie as well. And we have a good report coming from Beaver. So, let's go fishing here. All right, let's go out to Beaver. It's 65 degrees this morning on the surface, and they've been picking up some nice bass for the few people that's been bass fishing out there. In fact, Paul Preston was out a couple of days ago. Look at this nice bass that Paul picked up out at Beaver. Good going, Paul. And my buddy Richard Lee Rusher. Oh, he catches a lot of fish down below. He catches fish everywhere. But he's got a guide service specializing down below the dam at Beaver, and they've been picking up some trout. They've been once in a while picking up a walleye and some white bass. In fact, look at this young lady fishing with Richard Lee the other day. Now there's a good photo of a nice white bass. Good going, young lady. And Richard Lee's been catching a lot of catfish this week down there. A lot of catfish as well. Let's go up on the main lake. They've been picking up some stripers on some of the flats. I've heard anywhere from 15 feet to 50 feet of water. Use your electronics and just get off the points and the flats, and you might find yourself a big old mess of stripers. They've been picking up some nice ones on occasion out there this week. And the crappie fishing, I understand, slowed down somewhat, but they are still picking up some crappie. And up in the Twin Bridges area, I've heard of some walleye being caught. Might want to check this out. Speaking of crappie, I want to tell you, I want to go fishing with Lance Huey. I tell you what, I know if he takes me fishing, he's going to blindfold me because he's got some secret spots out there. Look at the fish he catches in northwest Arkansas. Man, those are beautiful fish, Lance. Good going. I'm not even going to ask you where you caught them, but that's nice fish. Beaver Lake. All right, let's go out to Rock, Table Rock. The water temperature out there this morning was 64 degrees. That's not too bad. And the bass are trying to spawn. Some of them are spawning. This weather, the little bit of rain and cool weather's kind of moving them back and forth. But I'm sure you can go out there and have some good bass fishing this weekend. I've had good reports on a variety of baits. I love to grub fish, swimming grubs. Boy, that's good right now. They've been picking up some fish on swim baits, some on jerk baits. But I tell you what, never overlook the Ned rig at Table Rock. That's the go-to bait when things are slow. And they have been picking up some fish back in the pockets on spinner baits and even on crankbaits. And jigs, don't overlook the jigs. And it's about spook time, guys. It's about spook time. The Zorro Spooks have been picking up a few fish out there as well at Table Rock. Few walleye have been caught, I think more by accident by people bass fishing using jerk baits, but some nice walleye have been caught up the White River this week, and there's been some nice crappie. The crappie fishing is still good. In fact, I tell you what, here's a good photo. I want to talk about docks a little bit right now, going back to bass fishing, because I've had more reports of nice bass being caught off the docks. Our friend Pam Dodson, she was out the other day. Look at this beautiful smallmouth bass. Good going, Pam. That's a gorgeous fish. Beautiful, beautiful bass. Good going, young lady, on a worm. No, I'm not going to say what she caught it on, so I'm not sure. But anyway, she caught it off her dock. Carrie Yates was out the other day and picked up this nice smallmouth. Good going, Carrie. And then he backed it up, went back into a pocket, and picked up several nice crappie out at Table Rock. And Mike Kennedy, hey, Mike Kennedy, look at this young man. He was up Long Creek. Hey, I've been fishing Long Creek, Carl and I. Look at this photo. Look at this young man. Beautiful smile, beautiful fish. Good going, guys. All out at Table Rock. Don't overlook the crappie. I think some fish are still shallow. Some are moving back to the brush piles, but they are picking up some beautiful crappie out at Table Rock. All right, Lake Taneycomo, 40, I think it was 46 or 47 degrees out there this morning. Run a little bit of water. The fishing continues to be good. They've had some trophy fish caught out there this week. The brown trout are going good. I heard small white jigs, working them real slow, and that quiet water's been working. Some crankbaits and some jerk baits. And on as far as the rainbow are going, down around Monkey Island, Cooper Creek area, all the way down to the landing, they've been picking up fish for you live bait fishermen. On night crawlers, you might want to just try a half a night crawler, and they've been picking up some fish on minnows as well. Small crankbaits have been working, and I heard of some spoon fishing out there too, little Cleo spoons, so kind of mix it up. But they have been picking up some nice trout out of Lake Taneycomo. Some nice browns this week again. Okay, let's go out to Bull Shoals. That water temperature out there was 64 degrees this morning. Bull Shoals have been producing some good bass fishing for the few people that's been out bass fishing. And in fact, Chris Wills was out the other day with my old buddy Dale Colvin. Dale's a great guide out at Bull Shoals. I kind of misspoke the last couple of weeks. I said he was working out at the Bull Shoals boat dock, but he no longer works there. He has his own personal guide service. And boy, if you ever need a guide on Bull Shoals for a good big bass, go to Dale Colvin. I tell you what, he's got a good video report on Bull Shoals too. Check out Dale Colvin. He's got his own personal guide service. He fishes down below the dam for trout. Great trout fisherman, an excellent bass fisherman. Photo of those guys. They caught some nice bass this week. And I've had some reports of a few walleye being caught up in the White River all the way to the Lake Taneycomo Dam. And they've been picking up some fish on some jerk baits and swim baits, and a few crappie have been caught at Bull Shoals, mainly off the still deeper water, 15 to 20 feet of water in the brush piles. Okay, let's go out to Stockton. J. David Holcomb was out the other day. Look at these four beautiful limit of walleye that J. David caught. Good going, young man. I may see you out there this weekend. And also Adam Perry was out the other day, and he and his buddy had a limit of beautiful walleye just a couple days ago on the points out at Stockton, and they just been working night crawlers for the most part. Some people are using jig and night crawlers. Other people are just dragging night crawlers with a little bit of weight, and they are catching some nice limit. By the way, that water temperature was 61 degrees out there this morning, and some people are not only working the night crawlers on the points and the flats, but they've been trolling just crankbaits. They've been using the Berkeley drag baits and catching some walleye as well. So check that out. Crappie are still going somewhat out at Stockton. They've been picking up some fish shallow still, but at times they're picking up some fish in the brush in about 15 feet of water, so mix it up. So Stockton looks good. Bass fishing's been fair. They've been picking up some bass on spinner baits, and I've heard of some jerk baits and jigs out there. And hey, get out there and might even try some topwater fishing out at Stockton as well. Let's go out at Pomme de Terre. Water temperature's up to 62 degrees. Not bad, not bad. And I want to go to the photo of the week. Boy, I love this photo. Jacob DeLong was out with his son. Now look at that smile on that young man. Boy, I love it when you guys take your kids fishing. Yeah, take your kids fishing and your dad and mom fishing. That's a good deal right now. But Jacob DeLong, look at his son. Boy, that picture tells it all, doesn't it? Beautiful, beautiful photo. And that was out at Pomme de Terre. Good going, guys. Have been catching some crappie. I understand it's a little bit slower with the cooler weather and the rain. The lake's up a little bit, but they are picking up some fish. Try the shoreline. Just swim jigs off that shoreline or a jig and minnow. And if not, go back off around 15 feet of water. And I think you can still catch some crappie out at Pomme de Terre without a doubt. And I've heard of a few walleye caught out there this week, and the bass fishing's been fair. A guy bass fishing with a big spinnerbait the other day picked a big muskie up. So you never know when you might catch a muskie out there. But the bass fishing's been fair at Pomme on spinnerbaits and big plastic worms, I understand, and jigs. take the whole tackle box out there. I think you can catch some fish on something out at Pomme de Terre. But boy, some nice crappie have been caught. And who else was out there? Darren Burwell was out. He was out there the other day, and look at these nice crappie that he caught. He's a chummer. And most of these folks that I've shown pictures of today are all chummers. We love you chummers. And who else? Look at Zach Massey. He was out with his dad the other day, Eric, and look at these nice, look at that kid. Boy, he catches fish all the time. Oh man, I tell you what, Zach, you are a fishing guy. You're going to have to take me fishing one of these days. Mark Warren was out the other day. He's another chummer. Look at the crappie he caught out at Pomme de Terre. I wouldn't be afraid to go to Pomme de Terre this weekend, that's for sure. Crappie fishing. Truman, boy, I heard there's a lot of people out at Truman last week. Over the past weekend, I heard the boat ramps were just jam-packed. They're still catching crappie out there. You want to go try it this weekend. In fact, Lindsay Tanner, she's a chummer. Good going, Lindsay. Look at this bunch of crappie that she caught out at Truman over the past weekend. And Ernst Snyder was out. Look at these two kids. Hey, look at that. Another two kids with great smiles. And they're chummers as well. God bless you all. They're catching fish out at Truman on the bank still. They're backing off the bank, picking up some fish in 10 feet of water, kind of mix it up, getting the brush piles, and I know you can catch some crappie out there. And they've been picking up a few bass at Truman this week. Slow rolling spinner baits, heard a little of a topwater bite, and they've been picking up fish on some big plastic worms out at Truman. The water temperature out there was 60 degrees this morning. By the way, out at Pomme, I didn't give you the water temperature, 62 degrees. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's go out at Lake the Ozarks, 61 degrees on the surface. Look at our old buddy, the chummer Michael Parker. Look at that beautiful crappie. He always catches crappie at the Lake the Ozarks. I know he fishes all over, but I know he wears out that Osage arm. He catches a lot of fish. Kyle Oberweather, God bless you, Kyle. Nice report you sent me. Boy, I tell you what, you've been catching some nice fish out there. You've been catching crappie, and he said pitching up towards the bank and the edge of the docks and around the docks. He's caught a lot of crappie over the past weekend. Kyle, good going, good fish. And Jay Ritter was out the other day. Look at these 4 big crappie he's holding up. Just absolutely beautiful fish. And so out at Lake the Ozarks, don't give up on the shoreline. Some of them are backing off, but we still have reports up in the creek arms, Gravelous arms, Osage arms, and we've had reports back in some of the pockets and coves for crappie in the brush pile, and around some of the docks. Don't overlook the dock fishing at Lake the Ozarks this weekend. Had some pretty good reports of bass fishing at Lake the Ozarks for the few people fishing out there. They've been picking up some fish on jerk baits, still on jerk baits, swim baits, spinner baits, crank baits, and plastic worms and jigs. And so I tell you what, looks pretty good at the lake this weekend. Okay, let's go out to Norfolk, 64 degrees on the surface. I guess that's 65 degrees. And they're picking up some fish out there. The lake is high. They're picking up some stripers by just using your scanners, your grass, and going over the flats for the most part and finding them and then spooning them. We've had some reports of the bass in all phases of the spawn out at Norfolk, and some pretty good crappie fishing out there as well. And so it's a pretty good report overall. You know, we've had some rain and wind this week, but the fish are still biting. Hey, a couple things. One other, Pomme, Darren Stark and his family's been going out. They're chummers. They've been sending some nice photos, and they were out at Pomme de Terre this past week on several days, I believe, and they have really been catching some nice fish. Good going on that crappie fishing, Darren, and your family. Good photos. Look at this. I like that. And from my old buddy Catfish Rick Ellis, he sent this picture in. Just got it in hot right off the wire. A gentleman was fishing. Look at this photo in Arkansas, and we have a lot of chummers over in Arkansas. We'll try to get more information on this fish, but look at this 4-pound 1-ounce crappie caught out in Arkansas. I'm going to find out more about it, but thank you, Catfish. That's a big old fish. That's a big old fish. My golly, get your fishing fever up. Well, Carla and I are going to go to Stockton this weekend and this week and see if we can catch some of those walleye. And do want to remind you, we have a walleye special coming up here in the next week or two. We're going to be filming on it this week. And we want to thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to, you folks over on YouTube, be sure to like and share and put her up there. Subscribe. Thank you very much. And if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll never miss out on any of the programs. You'll be notified. And to all of our great friends over on Facebook, thousands of you, my golly, keep spreading the word. Be sure to like and share. And I tell you what, if you have any photos or information you want to send us, just go to our Fishing Chums page. If you'd like to send some photos or information, ask questions, give us fishing goodies, anything you want to talk about, just email us at fishingchums@gmail.com. Well, let's go fishing this weekend. Forget about the virus. You know, we are so lucky here in the Ozarks that we have all these beautiful lakes that we can go fish. And we don't have to worry about that darn virus out there in the middle of the lake. Okay, have a good weekend. And if I don't see you out on the lake this weekend, I'll see you right back here on Fishing Chums next week. God bless you all. And we got a bunch of photos coming your way. Roll those photos, Kathy. God bless you. See you next week.